So in case you hadn't noticed, we are currently in the Resident Evil Supremacy, and it's beautiful. Resident Evil is my second favorite game franchise of all time, and these last few years have really reinforced that. RE2 Remake is actually my top 10 favorite games of all time. I'm not joking. It's just so sexy. I grew up with this franchise for most of my life, and RE4 is one of the very best games ever made, so yeah, I had high hopes for this one, and yep, they were met. I hold RE4 in a very, very high regard, and I honestly think this remake surpasses it. It's every bit as good a remake as RE1 and RE2 Remake. It's just that good. Let's dive in a little deeper on why you need this game, and so does your mom. RE4R in a lot of ways feels like a sequel to RE2R, and it rides that line of being a remake slash sequel fucking perfectly. Think about what Capcom has to accomplish with this title. They have to remake a beloved game that wasn't really tied to any of the other games all that much, and make it feel like it is connected to a previous game. That's a tall order, and Capcom delivered a fucking filet mignon. The tone of these newer remakes are definitely more serious in tone than the OGs, and this one is no different. That being said, fans of the goofy tone of OG RE4 will definitely get some love too. For the most part it is serious, but there is every once in a while where Leon will say something absolutely psycho.
I am flattered. What about one lady tied together?
On the story side of things, it's pretty much just as loose as RE4. You play this game for the gameplay, not a riveting Naughty Dog level story. Resident Evil has never really been about that. That being said, characters are fleshed out much more, and the voice acting for the most part suits. Leon's trauma is more of a thing. Ashley has a pretty good arc and isn't borderline offensively annoying like she is in the first one. Lewis has an amazing glow up and is probably my favorite character in the whole story now. Krauser's more fleshed out. Sadler is too, but I think my biggest complaint with the story has to be Ada. She's barely in the story and it just doesn't seem like she really cares. I heard Susie Hunter criticize the voice actor, but I'm not sure if that's what it is. I think it's just she literally has nothing to do in the story. She shows up, looks sexy, and farts on Leon. She played the same role in the original, but how much they fleshed out all the other characters, it's just a shame they really didn't do that with Ada. One other nitpick is that I don't like the new voice for Krauser. His voice actor is fine, I just think he was the wrong part for this role. It just feels weird hearing this twink voice come out of this huge scary looking motherfucker. Anyways, nitpicks aside, I'm happy about the story. It's faithful and it adds a lot of context and fleshes out a pretty nothing story into a pretty compelling narrative. On to the gameplay, the real meat here, and meat is right. Playing this game is like biting into a thick, juicy, beautiful steak every time. Just like the original. Gone are the tank controls, and in comes an amazing new combat system that feels every bit as glorious as the original. Every bullet smacks, every kick kicks, every slice slices, it's just beautiful. I don't think I have a single complaint about the combat in this game. I'm kind of a Resident Evil purist, and I'll always prefer the more measured survival horror gameplay of the older games, but as far as action horror goes, RE4 is king. Again, it's actually crazy how intense they made this game. The aggressive enemies and quick thinking you have to do almost makes it feel like a FromSoft game. Definitely in keeping in how intense the original was. Some bosses and enemies I still take down with a rocket launcher if I can afford it. Always like having that option. They add a new enemy here, a new twist on a boss there, and even add totally new enemy types. It's just the perfect amount. I think Capcoms are really the kings of reimagining their old games. I don't think anyone comes close. This game is at its best whenever it keeps you guessing. For someone who's played the OG 9,100 times, like myself, there are so many twists on things and new areas to explore that really make it feel like you're playing it for the first time. Again, for new players, this game is just gonna grab you by the eyelids and not let go. My one minor complaint is about Ashley. While the first game you can tell her to wait in place for a while, this one you can only tell her to follow behind slower, which is a neat idea, but I think I prefer the original. I actually got stun locked once or twice in the catapult part in the castle because of this change. I would have preferred just to tell her to wait, but that was really the only moment that was an issue, so I can't complain too much. Just thought I'd mention it. The gameplay in this game is just as fresh, beautiful, and revolutionary as it was in 2004. And fret not, this is not an RE3 remake situation where they leave out a lot of shit. Pretty much every iconic moment in the original game is here. And if it's not, it's replaced with something even better. Like, how many games can I say that about? That's just insane. I think I just want to get a little sentimental for a minute and share whenever I was younger, one of the last games I ever played with my brother before he moved out was the original Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. We were absolutely enamored with this game. Our jaws were agape the entire time. I remember sitting with my brother sharing these memories with this beautifully horrific game and not wanting it to end. I owe a lot to the original RE4, and I have so many memories with the series and this game that I just have to thank Capcom for bringing me back to sitting on the floor of the den in my childhood home playing Resident Evil 4 and having a blast with my brother. Thank you, Capcom, for making a lifelong Resident Evil fan happy. All in all, Resident Evil 4 is just kind of a dream come true. I do prefer Resident Evil 2 Remake over 4 Remake, but holy shit is it a close second. It's just one of the most satisfying games to pick up and play. Still, even the original is too, but this one is just... wow. You owe it to yourself to play this game. Whether you're a Resident Evil fan, an action survival horror fan, or even just an action fan, just give it a shot. It is genuinely one of the best games ever made, just like the original. And I think everyone at least deserves to try it at least once. Alright fellas, thank you for watching this really short video that I wanted to make on this. Alright fellas, thank you for watching this really quick video I made on this game. I just felt like I needed to talk about this game because it is, again, one of my all-time favorites. And one of the reasons I fell in love with gaming in general as a kid. And yeah, I just wanted to thank Capcom for making this amazing game. Now, I actually am going to be streaming this game on Twitch today and tomorrow and on the weekends. So if you guys could catch a stream or two, I'd love that. To be fair, be warned, I make a lot of fart jokes and my sense of humor is very immature. So if that's your thing, come join on over. You are all welcome. Thank you guys so much. And sub if you want to see what's happening next, because it's big. Peace.